What if one of Mercedes-Benz's most elegant post-war cars suddenly appeared again in 2027? Not as a museum piece, not as a restored classic, but as a completely new Mercedes, inspired by the legendary W181 Ponton. Back in the 1950s, the W181 represented something special. It was smooth, elegant, comfortable, and unmistakably Mercedes-Benz. At a time when cars were becoming more sophisticated after the war, the W181 showed that Mercedes could combine everyday usability with genuine luxury. For many people who remember that era, the Ponton wasn't just a car. It was part of a changing world. Family journeys, long European roads, chrome details, large steering wheels, and that unmistakable Mercedes star sitting proudly at the front. Then the years passed. The W181 disappeared from everyday roads. New generations arrived. Technology changed. And eventually, the Ponton became a piece of automotive history. But imagine, it's 2027. You enter a Mercedes-Benz showroom. The lights suddenly become dim. A long, elegant silhouette sits underneath a cover. You can see the outline of the rounded roof, the smooth fenders, the classic proportions. Then the cover moves, and there it is, a modern interpretation of a forgotten Mercedes legend, the imagined 2027 Mercedes-Benz W181 Ponton. Welcome back to Motor Show Plus. Today, we're taking one of Mercedes-Benz's most nostalgic designs from the 1950s and imagining what it could become in the future. And trust me, the transformation is more surprising than you might expect. Let's start with the design. The original W181 was famous for its rounded ponton body, so the 2027 concept would keep that essential shape. But everything would be redesigned. The front could feature a modern interpretation of the classic Mercedes grille. Slim LED headlights would replace the original lamps. The three-pointed star would sit proudly at the center, and the hood would remain long and elegant. But instead of heavy chrome everywhere, the future version could use polished aluminum and modern lighting to create a cleaner appearance. Move around the side, and the nostalgia becomes even stronger. Smooth fenders, a gently curved roof, a long wheelbase, and a clean body without unnecessary aggressive lines. The original W181 was never trying to look angry. It was elegant. So the modern version shouldn't either. Large aerodynamic wheels could fill the arches while maintaining a classic-inspired appearance. Hidden door handles would give it a modern touch, and a subtle illuminated Mercedes emblem could appear when the car is approached. At the rear, the design could become beautifully simple. Slim horizontal LED taillights, a clean trunk, a small Mercedes badge, and a smooth rear bumper inspired by the original chrome design. From a distance, you might think you're looking at a classic Mercedes. Then the lights turn on, and you realize this belongs in 2027. Now open the door. This is where the biggest transformation happens. The original W181 had a charming, simple cabin. The imagined 2027 version could turn that simplicity into modern luxury. Imagine premium leather seats, natural wood, brushed aluminum, soft ambient lighting, and a minimalist dashboard. Instead of filling the cabin with dozens of screens, Mercedes could use one large hidden display that appears only when needed. Navigation, music, vehicle controls, AI voice assistance, and smartphone connectivity. The rest of the dashboard could remain beautifully clean. Because the W181's greatest strength wasn't technology, it was simplicity, and that's something modern cars sometimes forget. But what about power? This is where the future becomes completely different. The original W181 used a traditional gasoline engine. A 2027 interpretation could potentially become fully electric. Imagine a compact battery pack, a powerful electric motor, instant torque, silent acceleration, and a driving range designed for everyday European travel. An imagined range of around 300 to 400 kilometers could make sense for a lightweight luxury EV concept, and because the W181 wasn't an enormous vehicle, keeping the future version relatively light could improve efficiency. But here's the surprise. What if Mercedes didn't make it a performance car? What if they focused entirely on smoothness, instead of chasing extreme horsepower? The W181 Revival could prioritize quietness, comfort, and effortless cruising. Imagine driving along a European countryside road. The electric motor is almost silent. The suspension absorbs the imperfections. The cabin remains peaceful. And the classic Mercedes shape catches everyone's attention. That's what would make this car different. It wouldn't need to be the fastest. It would need to be memorable. Advanced suspension technology could make that experience even better. A road scanning system could detect potholes and bumps before the wheels reach them. The suspension could automatically adjust, and the result could be a remarkably smooth ride, just like the original Mercedes philosophy, but using 2027 technology. Safety would obviously be dramatically improved. The imagined W181 could feature automatic emergency braking, adaptive cruise control, lane assistance, blind spot monitoring, a 360-degree camera, pedestrian detection, and advanced parking assistance. But Mercedes could hide all of that behind the elegant exterior. The car would look old school, while behaving like a modern luxury vehicle. And now comes the question everyone would ask. How much would something like this cost? If Mercedes ever produced a limited edition W181 inspired model, an imagined starting price around $70,000 to $90,000 could place it between premium luxury sedans and exclusive retro modern vehicles. A limited collector edition could cost considerably more. But would people actually buy it? That's the real challenge. Today's market is dominated by SUVs and crossovers. Small luxury sedans and classic-inspired cars are becoming rare, so bringing back the W181 wouldn't simply be a business decision, it would be a statement. A statement that Mercedes-Benz still remembers where it came from. For older enthusiasts, the W181 name could bring back memories of a very different automotive era, an era when cars had character, when dashboards were designed around the driver, when chrome was part of the design, and when simply seeing a Mercedes on the road felt special. For younger drivers, a modern W181 could introduce that history in a completely new way. Classic design, modern safety, electric power, and Mercedes craftsmanship. But here's the biggest question. Would Mercedes fans accept an electric W181? Some would love the idea. Others might say, give us the original engine and the original sound. And honestly, that's exactly what makes this concept interesting, because a true revival isn't about copying the past. It's about deciding which parts of the past deserve to survive. The shape? Absolutely. The craftsmanship? Definitely. The simplicity? Maybe more than ever. But the technology? That has to move forward. Of course, there's an important reality check. Mercedes-Benz has not officially announced a production 2027 W181 Ponton Revival matching this concept. This video is a future-inspired automotive concept based on the heritage and design character of the classic Mercedes-Benz W181. The design, powertrain, specifications, range, features, and pricing discussed here are speculative and created for entertainment, nostalgia, and automotive storytelling. But imagine the reaction if Mercedes revealed this car tomorrow, a 1950s legend, reborn for 2027. Would people call it one of the most beautiful modern Mercedes cars ever created? Or would they say the W181 belongs exactly where it is, in history? Now it's your turn. Would you buy a 2027 Mercedes-Benz W181 Ponton if Mercedes actually built one? And what would you choose? Classic gasoline power or modern electric power? Tell us in the comments. If you enjoy classic Mercedes, forgotten automotive legends, nostalgic cars, future concepts, and stories that connect automotive history with tomorrow, subscribe to Motor Show Plus, because sometimes the future becomes more interesting when it remembers the past. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next automotive story.